Wow. Hi, I'm live. Hello, everyone. This is Eric from Edicute, and this is Sunday, May 17th. Yeah, had a little bit of difficulty there, but started at 10 o'clock, so it's all good. Yeah, I've had a busy week, like always. I got some work done, but not as much as I would like to. It's a Sunday, and it's one of those Sundays where you feel you didn't do enough. Hi, whoever's there, just say hi. Say hello in the chat so I know who's here. Yeah, had a very unproductive day. I was going to do a lot of work, but never really got into it. Although the one thing that I did that I'm very proud of is, well, I'm not proud of myself for doing it. I just sat there and watched. But actually, recently I watched, well, 2 hours ago, a friend of mine did a presentation on teaching online through, it's called Amazing Talker. And that's a website where you can tutor English. And you go on, you create a profile, you make a video of yourself, and then you get yourself classes. It ranges anywhere from, you can make $10 to, I guess, around $18 or even $20 per lesson, per hour. So yeah, it was very interesting seeing him talking about this. Renee, hi. A woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life, Coco Chanel. With that being said, I don't necessarily recommend what I did. I stripped the color from my hair and cut off 8 inches. Okay, wait, what's inches again? That's about this much, I'm guessing. Renee, wait, was your hair dyed before and then you just cut it off? How short is it? So like a bob now? It was longer before? Yeah, Coco Chanel said, yes. Okay. Are you unhappy with the cut, or do you feel like for summer it'll be lighter? I think that's a really good question. Hi guys, when you're here, just put your name in so I know who's here and we can say hello. So just say hello in. Yeah, Renee, I think it's so true. I think for women, as soon as someone, I feel one of the things I've trained myself to do is when I go to the office or when I see another teacher, especially a female teacher, I make sure to notice or try and notice if they ever cut their hair, because you only get one chance to notice something new. So yeah, it's freeing. It must be some adjustment. I've spoken to some ladies that have had long hair and then they cut it off, and most of them they really do feel it's freeing, but perhaps after some time you'll miss the feel of it. I'm not sure. Even for myself, what I normally do is when my hair gets long, I look like Justin Bieber, a very old Justin Bieber. So what I do is I cut almost everything off. But recently, that's not a good look for an older man, or it's not very professional. So I think I need to get better haircuts. But I like my hair very short. Yeah. So what I was saying before. Hi everyone. Almost a short. Yeah. Well, I think you'll pull it off way better, I'm sure, Renee. Hi guys, if you're there, just put a hello in the comments. Actually, I've got a few things I want to talk about today. The first thing is 2 hours ago, I was part of a Zoom presentation by one of my friends talking about teaching English online. So it's a way that teachers can actually be part of this website. It's like VIP Kid if you're in America, or there are dozens of online teaching services. And the one he talked about is Amazing Teacher. Migam, hi, how are you doing? What about you? Did you get a haircut? Renee says she changed her, she got a haircut. It's much shorter. I feel like a lot of women, as soon as they get a haircut, it is almost like a change, or it's to show that there's a change in their lives. If they're ready for a new relationship, or something happened at work, or it shows, your outer appearance manifests your inner feelings or something. Mega, you got a haircut yesterday. Okay, well, what about you? How does your hair look now? I really wish I was part of that Zoom meeting, and it was so interesting having 99 people on there. And actually, I wish it was the same with you guys, where we could talk to each other and I could see you. That would be a lot of fun. Which reminds me, in 2 weeks, I'm planning a special video with 100 students. I think I told you about it last week, where I want to make a big video how to teach a large group like 100 students. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. What about you? I'd like to hear your opinion. So, Migam, you cut your hair. Do you think it's actually that you're going to do something special? Renee, how about you? You got a haircut. Are you taking on a new challenge? Do you want to do something different with your life? For me, I just, what I feel? The story of Samson. The story of his power was in his hair, and he grew out his hair and he got his strength back. For me, especially when summer comes, my hair gets very long and I get frustrated with it. So I just, I don't shave it off, but it's nearly that short. So I cut it very short and I wax it up. But I feel like I'm the inverse of I'm the opposite of Samson. When I cut my hair short, I feel strong and vibrant. I just want to exercise and run around. It is very freeing. So how about you two? Do you think you're going to do something new? Yeah, so by the way, so I was just saying that talking about this website where you can tutor and teach English, you can actually teach any language. I've seen, I might even get a Korean tutor for myself there. It costs something like $10 an hour, which $10 for class, I think, which is 50 minutes. So maybe I should do something like that. You've got a new demo class with the company too. See, this is something I'm very interested in, Renee. I want to do a series on how to, create a better background, how to do a good demo lesson. This friend of mine that did the presentation, I asked him, I said, can I put because he recorded it, I said, can I put it on my YouTube and share it? And then in the future, I would like to get your opinion too on how to create good. I've got some ideas, but I would like to get your opinion how to do a great demo lesson if you want to do an online job. The other thing is that, and this is the other thing. It's usually just me chatting here with you guys and I can see your text. But I was thinking in the future, perhaps, instead of just having me here, maybe I will do an interview series or, well, it's not going to be an interview. It's going to be like a conversation. And then whoever wants to, especially some of the teachers out there that would like to join me, and we do a live stream together every Sunday. So each Sunday I can take someone new, because it must get so boring just seeing me chatting and talking up here, where I feel like so many other teachers might have a different viewpoint or have something exciting to talk about. So I think what I'll do is maybe next week we'll talk about it. I'll ask which teachers want to join me on here. We can make a list and people can join and we can do a live stream like that. So that way, I get a chance to also meet you guys and we can chat, and your ideas on teaching and English, we can share that. What do you guys think about it? I think that's for me, that's so valuable, because I feel like lately, I look back at all the videos I've made, and obviously there are a lot more I want to do. But the way that we can truly grow is by actually interacting and learning from other teachers. And now with this whole, COVID thing, where the only teachers I really interact with are you guys, but in real life, it's some of the professors, my friends. But we don't really talk. We talk about education, but I would like to talk to other professionals too. So that's the one thing I want to talk about, is doing that. Is actually using this live stream to interview other teachers. Hi everyone, if you're there, just put your name in the comments. Yeah, because before, so 2 hours ago, I watched my friend's video seminar, and he did such an amazing job talking about his experience tutoring online. And right now, especially in places like South Africa and other places too, where maybe you need another income, or if you lost your job, maybe that would be good. Ibrahim, hi. What good vocab books can you recommend? Ibrahim, I can't recommend. I'm not really good with books. I've got book series that I have, but I don't want to recommend them because I've got nothing to compare it to. So I would suggest, there we go. Martin. Nazar, finally you made it. Martin, can I ask you a favor, or ask your opinion? What is a good vocab book that you can recommend to Ibrahim? Because I feel like, I've got tons of books that I use that, we get from the university, and I also work with some publishers. But okay, excellent. Yeah, Excellent. So Ibrahim, ELT experiences, that's Martin. He is also a great teacher, and he's got a lot of books that he talks about. So he says he's going to do a live stream tomorrow and he'll talk about it. Please check it out. Because, I don't want to suggest a book. What I would say, though, is if there are some tests, if you're studying towards something, find out what books they have specifically for that test. If it's just normal grammar, or if it's just, conversational English, if it's just, learning English, it would happen. Naza, talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. Yeah, I use Oxford Word Skills. Okay. Martin, put in a plug. I think it's very necessary. Naza, 7 habits of highly effective people. What is the most important thing that you learn from that? I think that is one of the best, books that most people that get into self-development read. It's a must to read. Ibrahim, Oxford Skills. I'm going to take a second and I'm going to type it in. Oxford Skills. Okay. It's for young learners, or it's some of the resources. I'm opening it up. Nazli, I'm glad you made it. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I've seen Oxford Reading Skills. I think that's also a good series because, you get your Oxfords and, you get your Cambridge publishers. I'm working with a publisher in Korea called Compass Publishing. Nazli, how have you been? So guys, in case you've missed, I think, for my live streams, because I enjoy talking to you guys, but I can only see, your comments. So what I was thinking is in the next couple of weeks, I would like to invite whoever wants to do a live stream with me. And whoever wants to do a live stream with me, we can do the stream together. And we'll probably use something, we can use Skype or Zoom, and I'll put it out. So I'll put the link out. And each week we can take another teacher and, whatever you want to talk about, I'll be here and we can chat about your ideas on education, because obviously I would like to share it. So we'll make a list and we'll work through it and everybody can get a chance to share your ideas. What do you guys think about it? Yeah, it's a lazy way for me to also have someone to, so it's not just up to me to talk the whole time. It's fun, I like doing it. It's really fun talking about my ideas and stuff. But obviously, you're teachers too, and you've got a lot to share. Yeah, how have you guys been? How was your week? Did you have a yeah, we're going to see who's first. Martin, I would love to chat to you. Martin and I, we've been talking for a while now. Yeah, so yeah, how have you been this week? I feel like I've been preparing for a seminar next week. Elsa, you made it. Yeah, so anything that you guys want to talk about, any questions or anything? This week, I've been preparing for a seminar, but I've been kind of putting my other work in the back end. I haven't been working too hard at it, but I feel as soon as I'm done with my seminar, there are so many things I still want to do. Tatiana, hi. More or less. Do you want to talk about more or less or something else? Okay, so Naza says I asked her what she read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, right? And I asked what did she think about it, and she says think about the end from the beginning to be proactive. Yeah, I was thinking about that before. There was something that I thought about, and I thought exactly that you should think about where you want to be at the end. So I heard that with this online teaching, I told you guys before I was listening to the seminar, my friend was talking about teaching English online through a website to get an extra income or to make that his main income. And he said, once you start, you don't make a lot of money, but the more classes you get and the better you do, you're going to get more money at the end. And I think a lot of people, and immediately I thought about that, you should start thinking about, you should have the end in mind. Because a lot of people, once they start with something, they just see where they are now and they think, oh man, I can't do this right now. It's horrible. It's not enough money, or I don't see where it's going. But if you think about the end parts, you're like, okay, I'm going to work hard for a couple of months, but at the end, I'm going to be, I'll achieve so much. And that's how I felt about this channel, right? My channel. I thought, okay, at the start, it's going to be tough. I'm just going to have my mom and a few friends looking at my content. But over time, it's just going to grow, and we should start thinking about at the end what we want to achieve. So, Nazar, thank you so much. Like always, you share so much good content. Alsa, how are you doing? Okay, so Nasli says, thank you, I'm so good. And how about you? I'm good, but I've been lazy. I've been procrastinating because I've got this seminar coming up. I have to prepare the PPT. And in the meantime, I've got some videos I need to edit, and I've got some videos I need to shoot. But so as soon as the seminar is done, I can focus. Sometimes it's difficult to focus when you're juggling too many things. So once I get that done, I feel I can focus. Okay, so let's read on here. Oxford Word Skills, right? Ibrahim, I've seen that book before. I think I've used it. And if you're going to use a vocabulary book, I think they'll use. Tatiana says laziness is a good virtue. Sometimes, today I thought, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? My main goal, though, for Sundays is that I talk to you guys, and that's great. So Martin says, I heard on the grapevine that some Korean universities will be hiring remote teachers. Working hard and contributing to your aim is very important. I saw the same thing. So the thing is, now with online teaching happening, a lot of universities and schools aren't prepared. People are just learning how to do online. And that's why I did my series on Zoom, how to teach with Zoom, and I'm doing these games with Zoom. I think it's because as soon as it came out, I realized, this is the future and we have to adapt as teachers. I told you guys before that, in the future, when you go for a job interview, they're going to ask you about your online skills. I apologize. So, now we have to make ourselves valuable as teachers. And, if that's why I'm working very hard with my Zoom classes, and I could be doing things a little bit differently, but I'm gaining confidence, and as we all should. Now, one worry is, so I'm working for my Korean university. Let's say they are approached by another university saying, we've got this program. I should be able to provide evidence that I'm actually a valuable member that can do these online classes. But I don't want you to be reactive. When something new happens to you, you shouldn't just react to it. There's a great book called Who Moved My Cheese, something like that. And it's all about how we should prepare for the future, because once change happens or we lose our jobs or something, we should be prepared for it, or we should actually be in a position to take advantage of it. And what I think is, instead of being afraid of American universities or some other companies coming with online programs, why not start creating your own program that you can share? So let's say you've got an English book series that you want to share. Why not take that book series and show how to teach it online? You take some videos of yourself doing it. If you can train other teachers to do it the same way, why not start looking for those opportunities? So instead of being, oh no, that's such a bad expression, sorry, impression. So instead of saying, oh no, I'm going to lose my job, why not say, okay, well, why not create something or build a skill that I can show off? Okay, so let's see. Tatiana, laziness is a good virtue. What's wrong? Any doubts? Doubts about what? About being taken over. I think teachers. We're all in the same boat. The thing is, there will always be teachers, and there will always be real life classes. But we have the internet, and we should start marketing ourselves. And I think, I don't know if you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk. He's the biggest guy talking on social media about how we as people, we shouldn't be afraid of the internet. We should start marketing ourselves. And this friend of mine, in his seminar, in this presentation he did about getting a job with an English tutoring website, he basically said, listen, people, it's all about perception. You can be an average teacher, but if you show yourself in the best possible light, and you market yourself first, the parents or the schools, they're the buyers. They're going to find the person that looks the best. I mean, that's why you try and create a good CV. That's why, or resume. That's why you know, when you go for the job interview, sometimes they don't pick the best person, but the person who's the best at the interview. So that's new skills that we have to learn. Elsa says, it's been difficult to step away from the laptop, different groups, different subjects, a lot to prepare. Definitely, Elsa. You know, I have a lot of sympathy for a lot of teachers that have to go through this. You know, I've taught at a real school before. I know what it feels like. And now my situation in Korea, it's very cushy compared to what it is for a lot of teachers with different subjects that you had to do. I was teaching 3 different subjects back in South Africa, the same here. And then you've got sports and you've got different grades. It's tough out there. So yeah, I think the first thing, and this is something for myself, I'm preaching, but I'm preaching to myself, is to be better organized, and to, once you get yourself organized and you get yourself ready, the rest is simple. And also another thing I would say is to have a process and to just make it easy for yourself. I see a lot of teachers here at university, especially ladies, and I know you're going to say, Eric, you're sexist. There are a lot of strong male teachers that are good at organizing, but this is definitely a trait that I've noticed with a lot of female teachers. They're very organized and they plan very well. It's something I need to improve at. And but they're doing too much work. So I also want to encourage you not to do too much. Work smart, not hard, that old expression. So a lot of these teachers that I work with, they're making extra worksheets and they're putting extra material out there that the students might not actually even be using. You know, you also got to think about it as the students. How much are they using? What is the most effective way to teach them in the shortest time? Okay, so Renee says, yeah, Gary is awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've actually, can I tell you guys what one of my, I told you I haven't been doing much this weekend, but I've been watching these YouTube channels where they show these online creators that they're entrepreneurs, and they show these lavish lifestyles and they sell these courses, but it's, you know, they're basically, it's entrepreneur. You know, they're selling these courses, but it doesn't have anything, or how to make it $10,000 a month, and it's just fake. You know, so I've been watching these videos of these unmasking of how these guys do that. And wait, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's actually one of the guys that just wants to provide value, and I loved his book, Crushing It. I almost forgot what I was talking about. Okay, Martin says, Elsa says, but I like online teaching though. I feel freer. You know what's weird? Elsa, you know, I always agree with you because I think we're very similar. But me too. I don't mind my online classes. I enjoy it. But I've heard a lot of other people say, oh, it's so draining. I can't do this. I want to be with my students. Obviously, I love being with my students. But you know what? I am creating relationships with my students, you know, by talking, asking them questions about their lives. And there is a bond being formed, just like with you guys, you know. I don't get to see you, but I can definitely feel that we're building a relationship. And I think so. If you do your online teaching right, they are the amount of online teachers is just increasing, and you know, we want to be on top of that. Okay, Martin says the British Council have published quite a lot of supportive material that you can access for free. Yeah, the British Council is great. I think there are resources out there. One thing I've told myself for ages is I want to build my own curriculum. But, you know, that takes so much time. So if you can find resources out there to help you, by all means do it. I think what I'm doing with my past videos is where I give resources just on certain topics. But in the future, I'm going to be working on something else. Actually, perhaps in 2 or 3 weeks, perhaps a month later, I'm making a whole series just on questions. So it's going to be 52 videos long. For each week, there's going to be a list of 10 questions for student A, 10 questions for student B about some topic. I'm going to explain how to ask the questions, how to answer them, and I'm just going to give out the material for that. So that's something I'm going to be working on besides my other things. Okay, so yeah, look for that material. It can definitely help you. Suta, hi, how are you doing? Guys, if you're new here, just put your name in, ask any questions. I like chatting to you guys to hear what you're thinking. So Martin says that's true. Developing a remote rapport is natural. It should be. As teachers, I think as teachers, one of the things that we have to learn is how to create a relationship with our students. It's so important, to create rapport with our students. Maybe that's an idea for a video, how to create actually, I think so I do research for many videos, and so I find all these ideas and I stash them away for when I need to make a video. And I think I started creating a document on how to create rapport with students. So maybe I'll find that and make a video on that. Thank you for reminding me, Martin. Will says, I will have it hard here in Thailand teaching kindy kids online. Wish me luck, Matt Damon. Well, sure. Yeah, I think you'll do a fantastic job. I've seen a lot of teachers do it, and we as humans, we adapt, and as teachers, we also adapt. Just remember, make it fun, talk with the kids, have some toys or things, that you can interact with them. And I think you get so used to it, you'll have a good time. Online class is not effective in my way. Yeah, I think, it depends. I've had, it's the same in real life too. Sometimes I've had classes where I felt, it just didn't work. And other times I feel like my classes have been effective. What I would suggest, though, is if there's a part of your class that isn't working, start looking for ideas and adapting your ideas. Because I've seen so many teachers just do the same thing over and over again. Don't be afraid to try other ideas. I've put out videos about how I teach online. And I still don't think, like, if I had to do online classes every day with English students, you would see me also, perfecting my technique, because I would use other things too. But I'm not at that level. I'm just sharing ideas that I find. My dad and some other teachers I've seen are amazing. So definitely look for some ideas and implement them in your class. Don't be afraid. Samar, hi. No, you're always on time. A wizard is never late. Okay, so I was seeing, Elsa said, exactly, and you know what? They behave much better when they are committed. Yeah, when you have a relationship with them. And Martin says, one thing I find difficult is to see if students are on task, and you have to trust that they are working autonomously. See, that's actually a worry I had this week. So with our courses right now, or last week, I had to ask my students to rate my classes, to tell me what do they enjoy, what don't they enjoy, and it's anonymous. And there was one comment where a student said, sometimes the other students don't work well in groups. Now, this is a more difficult group that I have, with maybe some bad apples, that I have to work on. But when you teach with Zoom, you have the ability to put students into groups. Now, I've been thinking, how can I combat it if, obviously I go to each group, but I can only go and check each group individually. How can I work with students that aren't motivated and, that they're not working on their own? And I think, well, you should be result orientated. So what do I mean by that? I was thinking to myself, I do a lot of conversations with the students, and then afterwards, obviously, I check up on them. I ask them, okay, do a question for me. So that is one way to keep them on their toes. Then any teacher worth their salt will be constantly checking your students to make sure that they know, teacher's going to ask me, I have to prepare. The other thing that you should, that I think I'll do, is more task-based learning, where I ask them, okay, I want you to achieve this, and you have to give feedback to the class so they know they have to do the work. We're not sure how much they're going to do. Perhaps they finish and they give a subpar thing, but yeah, that's a difficult one. Will says, Tatiana, what do you mean by behaving better? Okay, Tatiana, it's like if you have a relationship with your students, a good relationship, they want you to feel good. They don't want you to be sad or upset. So a lot of students, you've had that teacher that you just adore, and whatever they said, you would try your best to actually help them, and then you behave better. So if you can if you can improve your relationships and build rapport with your students, they'll see you as an angel, and they'll do whatever you want. And I think it's important for teachers, especially there are some people that are just naturally better at that, they're just so good with kids or with students, but it's definitely a skill that you can get better at. I've seen teachers that were just horrible when they first started, but then, over the years, they've just gotten so good with creating relationships with their students. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you have to be super sweet to the students or you have to be super strict. It's just creating rapport with those students. Martin says, props for teaching online with kids. Yeah, no, guys, so much respect for people that do it. That's why I've been doing, because I was afraid that I might have to do something like that. And I also wanted to help, my audience. So I've been doing interviews with teachers that are fantastic with young learners, but it takes things to do. Okay, Samar, yeah, you say hi, sorry. Okay, sorry, I read that one. Martin says 1 year repeated 12 times is not the same as 12 years experience. That's right. Yeah, so we have to try and do more. That's why these teachers that are constantly teaching online do that. Asomi Din says, what is the best way and the easiest way of teaching? I would say that the most important thing is, what they say, make it learner-centered. What I would say is try and get your students to do more and connect that content to their experiences. So in your first classes, you're going to be asking them questions. You're going to tell them to relate this content that you're teaching, whatever subject you're doing, to their experiences, and get the students talking more in class or explaining things or having conversations about the content. The less that you speak, obviously you need to guide them as the teacher and you have to keep them on task. But I think the biggest mistake that a lot of teachers do is they get into this habit of just talking and talking and talking and talking and trying to control the situation by being the person in front. Whereas I feel that the more effective teachers are the ones that get the students to do the majority of the content. And that's what I like about my classes too. I spend a lot of my time, so I would have a short time explaining a grammar point or, a topic and some vocabulary. And then I try and do that I try and condense that and do that in a short amount of time, and then get the students to use that as much as possible. So if you can do that with your way of teaching, I would definitely suggest that, because otherwise it gets so difficult. I've seen teachers trying to use their own experiences the whole time. You can use that as an example, but don't use it as the only example. Get the students talking and using the content. Okay, Martin says, I've got a dash. Thank you, Martin. Have a good time and good luck with your week. Migam, I've seen praising works for many students. Hi, Mom. My mom's here too. Yeah, Migam, praise is very important. In one of my last videos I did about how to teach online, I said that I left it to the end. Number 10 is praise your students, but it's definitely one of the most effective ways. But praise has to be done right. You don't want to go in there and just give everyone praise. It should be earned. But I think the more experience you get, you start to see, okay, which students need a bit of encouragement. So you're always going to try and come from a positive place, and you're going to give them praise. Oh, you did so well. Thank you so much for helping. So as a teacher, definitely praise them, because who wants to learn when they're not enjoying it? And when a teacher, that you respect gives you praise, it just fills your heart with joy. Yeah, guys, I think that's very important when it comes to it. Yeah, so this, so like I said, next week, let's make a list. If you are interested with being on this live stream with me to have a conversation, that'll be great. Next week, let's make a list. And if you're interested, every week I'd like to see one of you and talk with you. You can pick the topic and you can talk a bit about that. Yeah, so this week I'm going to be working on the seminar. I've got another video coming out on Wednesday, and I'm going to be working on a few videos. The one video I'll do is a vlog. You guys know I'm not very good with vlogs. But I think it might be interesting, because I recently did a collaboration with a big Korean YouTuber. He asked me some questions about Korea, so I would like to create a vlog in case Korean people saw it, they would like to get into it. Whom would you rather hire online, a native or a non-native TEFL? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The teacher matters. You know, I've had so many amazing non-native teachers that are just fantastic at what they do, and they're very motivated. And I've seen great native teachers too that are fantastic. You know, these days, the thing is, I've seen a lot of native teachers. You know what they do is they are only used to their own environment, so they only use slang that is found in their area of the world, and they think that's the only way the world is done, yeah, or the world works, you know, or they've only got their own pronunciation. Where the fact is that you're more likely to travel and speak to a non-native, and as a non-native, maybe you're also learning skills and you know how to teach it. But obviously, as a native, you learn a lot of it'll be more natural for you. So I think, you know, it doesn't matter. It depends on the teacher. You know, it's native or non-native, doesn't matter. Where there is a factor though is if you're non-native and you don't know a lot of things, so a lot of things that come naturally to native speakers, you might not know, and you're going to have to put in more work to do that. But here's one thing I would say: if you are a non-native teacher, don't let it hurt your ego, because I see so many non-native teachers, they work so hard to prove themselves, and they feel that they are inferior to native teachers. There are pros and cons to each one. As long as you are the best possible teacher for your students, don't let it affect your ego if you're a non-native teacher. And if you're a native teacher, you know, it will come naturally to you. You're going to have to put in more work to connect with that student and to understand what they need. Yeah, I think that's basically it, guys. No, I'm not ending the stream. I'm just saying those are the two things. If you are a non-native teacher, you know, work hard, but don't feel undervalued. Don't let your ego take a hit and say, oh, I'm not good enough. You are, because you've been in the same boat. You're going to have to work hard. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes. That's natural. If you're a native teacher, start working hard, learn the basics, and help that student the best way possible. Don't just say, oh, I'm a native speaker, it's easy. No, there are a lot of things you know, they don't know. Okay, so the next one, Renee says, I want to hear about your class with 100. Okay. Right, Elsa, listen, you know what I mean. So it's just I've had many teachers say, you know what, I'm you know, I feel bad when I make mistakes, or you know, they work so hard to prove themselves. Work hard, but you know, don't take it personally. Put it outside. You know, you're doing your best for the students. Okay, Renee, let me tell you about this. So I've been preparing this for a while. I'm going to make a quick video that I'm going to send to my students, to other students, and if you guys want to, I'll send it to you if you want to join my class. But so I'm going to send it to a couple of professors and students from my university. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a type of review lesson. Now, what do I do with a review lesson? Basically, it's that one where you have experts. So usually what I do with a review lesson is, if I've got a book with 10 units, I would give one group unit 1 and 2, another group 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and 9 and 10. To go through, learn the grammar from those 2 units, learn the vocabulary, learn some expressions that you can teach someone. You are training to teach that, to be a tutor. I give them 10 or 15 minutes to quickly learn that. And then I say, okay, new groups, and I put them into new groups where they have to teach each other these things. I'm basically going to use that thing for that thing. Here we go. Will do, Renee. Let me copy this. I'll copy this. Thank you. Renee just sent me her email address. If you want to send me your email address, if you want to be part of it, please go ahead. It'll be nice to have you there, especially for my students. They might love to interact with with other teachers too, you know, instead of having them there. So basically, here's the thing. So with this online thing is I'm going to send them a quick video explaining what I want them to do. Then I'm going to start the Zoom meeting. I'm going to put everyone on mute. They can show their screens if they want to. And then I'm going to put them into, automatically put them into breakout rooms. And for each, there are going to be 20 different rooms. For each room, they're getting a different topic: sports, family, and they have to go together. They have to write down some vocabulary and they have to write down some questions. Then I give them 10 or 15 minutes, bring them back, do some examples, and then I put them automatically into new groups. And then in the group, they have to explain the grammar and ask each other student a question about that topic. And then it's the next person, next person, next person. They come, yeah, it's the jigsaw activity. It's similar to that. Thank you, Megan. Yeah, it's the jigsaw activity. Then they come back. I ask some students to share their experiences and say goodbye. I think that's basically going to be the gist. I'm going to explain it to the students. It's not too difficult, and I think it's fun. Okay, Seema, what did you say? I just joined a session on what makes a good teacher, and I think I didn't like the session, so I thought next time when I join Eric on live, I must ask about it. Okay, what makes a good teacher? What session was that, Seema? Was it something that you were learning about? And also said, I won't take it personal, just keep working, learning with mistakes. Definitely. Renee, is anyone here interested in teaching a college writing class from May to June? A recruiter contacted me on LinkedIn. Well, excellent, guys. If you want to talk to Renee about doing something like that, please let her know. Actually, talking about Seema, I'm going to answer your question now. I think it's a very important question. Okay, so Renee, yeah, I'm sure there will be someone like that out there. So if anybody's interested, Renee, you can show your email address if they want to send you an email, or you can share that too. My dad, native or non-native ESL, it also depends on the level of the student and the learning material. The higher the level is more required from the teacher. Very good tip, Dad. Yeah, so if the student's more advanced, it would be. Okay, I'll show it to everyone. So everyone, this is Renee's email address. If you want to apply for that, so it's a writing course, you can put it in. Alex, pleasure to have you. You're saying that if anybody wants to teach a college writing class from May to June, just send Renee a message there and you can contact her. Okay, now everyone, I want us to focus on this question. Seema asked, you know, what makes a good teacher? Well, thank you, Seema. That kind of puts me on the spot. Okay, what do you guys think? What makes a great teacher? If you think of the greatest teachers that you've had in your life, what comes to mind? And Renee says, I'll pass your info on to the recruiter. Thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate it. Okay, good question. What makes a good teacher? Okay, yeah, it's wow. You know, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I'm just going to talk about this because I don't know how correct it is, but the first thing I guess is love. You know, either love for your students, love for the subject, or love for the process of teaching. So as a teacher, there are some things that you need to be good at. First and foremost, you know, you need to be a subject. You should know your subject material. You should know, you know, whatever subject you're going to teach, you need to be a master of that. Then you shouldn't just be a master of that. You should also be fantastic at taking that material and giving it to students, you know, teaching that with it. So my mom said compassion. Yeah, I said, well, compassion and love, love for your students, because if you are able to take that information and give it to them in the best possible way, they'll also be able to take it. And then you also need to test them and make sure that they've achieved those goals. Yeah, let me see, get some more ideas for you. My dad said passion for teaching. Renee, let's see, responsiveness from the teacher. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that into feedback, because as a teacher, you know, you've got to auto-correct. You know how torpedoes work? So torpedo, if you're, oh, and some missiles too, so you shoot the missile or the torpedo, it goes towards the target and it tracks it. If it makes a mistake, it corrects. And that's the same with missiles. They go into the air and they basically autocorrect to find the way. And I think, yeah, so NASA said passionate and knowledgeable. Yeah, that passion shines through, and knowledge about, so you should be knowledgeable about your content, the material itself, and you should also know how to teach. That's the teaching. What's it called? Yeah, so you need to know how to teach too. So as a teacher, you need those skills of how to take that information and give it to your students as best as possible. Alex says, a teacher, you should be versatile. I was talking about it before, where I said, you know what? Somebody, I think it wasn't Samar, it was, let me quickly see. Was it Ibrahim? No, was it Ibrahim? No, it was Nasli. Basically said, I might be wrong, but said that that you should be, what makes a great teacher? And we said, okay, well, you know what? You should be able to change your plan. So many times as a teacher, you're teaching something some way, but it just doesn't work. Then you have to be able to adapt and do something new. And that's what I was talking about, course correction. You won't always do everything 100% correctly. You will find better ways to do it. You will find mistakes that you've made. But that's what experience is. You're trying these new things. And I think the best teachers, like you said, they're not the ones that just do the same thing over and over again. A lot of times you can have teachers that say, oh, I've got so much experience, but then you go into their class and it's just so boring because they believe they're doing the right thing and they've never tried anything else. And I think as teachers, we should be cognizant of that thing. We shouldn't fall into that trap of thinking this is the best way to do it. That's it. And NASA says didactics. Give me that's a really good point. Let me find. Didactics is the theory of teaching. There we go, in a wider sense. There's another word I wanted though. Didactics. Okay, the science of teaching. Thank you, NASA. You're genius. Yeah, no, there's another word too. I forgot what it is, but I think didactics is the best one. It's the theory of teaching, in a wider sense, a theory and practical application of teaching and learning. There's another word that I just can't remember. I think that's a great thing when when you study to become a teacher or you take these courses. You learn, basically you learn how to teach. But I think there's nothing that beats practice, because I would rather have, if you wanted to climb a mountain, would you take a Sherpa that's been up there 20 times, or will you take that professor that's learned everything? Although you should be able to take that knowledge and apply it. So yeah, definitely important. Didactics. Thank you, NASA. Okay. Oh, my dad put didactics in there for me too. Alex says, patience is very important, especially if you teach Thai students. Alex, why is that? Thai students especially, is it difficult for them to focus? Are they very active? What makes it more difficult with Thai students? Thai students, I think I've taught some Thai students before at my university, but not many. So I'm not too sure about that. Okay, NASA says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Right, yeah, I think you can only hit your head so many times. Although, there's, the beauty about life is that you can learn these things, but there are two sides to it. So there's always a gray area. But as soon as you try and explain a gray area, it's very difficult for people. People need a very easy yes or no answer. It's only 50-50, but actually there's a gray area. So what I wanted to say is, we can say, okay, you should be versatile and trying many things, but we should also, be aware of the fact that you should try and get very good in one area. You can focus on one area specifically. So let's say I'm doing an activity and it doesn't quite work. I should keep on and try and focus and get it to work better. It's that thing where I think it's Bruce Lee said, I'm not afraid of a man that practices 100 different kicks. I'm afraid of a man that practices one kick 100 times. See, there we've got these two quotes. But as long as you're aware that, yes, we should be versatile, but we should also be very focused in what we're doing so that we can become good at it. And that's another thing I would say to many teachers or many people in general, don't chase too many rabbits. So if you have an idea of something, if you are teaching something, try and be the best possible person at it. So, because someone like Martin, for example, he's fantastic at teaching grammar. And for me, because I mostly teach, lower level students, I just do basic grammar. But if I had to move up to more advanced students, I would need a lot more experience in learning and some help to teach that too. Whereas he's very comfortable with that because he did a CELTA and things like that. So what I want to say with that is, know your strengths and work towards it, but don't be afraid to try different things. So as a teacher, very important, love for your students, didactics. Thank you, Naza. Didactics for learning about teaching and how to properly teach your students. And then also what I would add to that is also be focused, be a master of your subject, or if you have a certain speciality, focus on that. So if your principal, if you are a couple of English teachers, right, and you are really good at working with large groups, or you're very good with grammar, or you're very good with interacting with your students, or whatever the case may be, become a master at it, because your principal will come to you and talk about it. If there's an opportunity, for example, Renee just said, they want someone to teach reading and writing. If you are a master, if you're really good at teaching writing, you're very good at it, it's something you've focused on, people are going to start searching, I apologize, are going to start searching for you. I think it's, so try and become a master at what you're doing. I hope you guys wrote that down. Yeah, guys, I think let's make it the last couple of minutes. I don't want to take all your time, but yeah, I just enjoy it. So I think next week I'll put an ad out. I'll put something in the community page where I say that if you want to try out for the 100 student lesson, I'll send you some link. I'll send you some information about that. Then maybe from next week even we can try it out. Have a special guest teacher to come on. So if you're interested in being joining me for this live stream, you and me, we can practice beforehand just to make sure everything works, and then we go live and we do a talk, whatever you're interested. Because obviously you're just hearing my voice and my sometimes my opinion on things. So it would be great to have more teachers on here, and every week we can have a new teacher on here to talk about their ideas. Okay, guys, is there anything else that you would like to talk about? What is happening this week? Is anything special happening? No, I think it's just summer's coming to Korea, so I'm very happy about that. I hope international travel opens up. On a personal note, I hope that international travel opens up, because for summer vacation, I think most people just want to travel and get away. If you have the opportunity, for me, I don't really have anything keeping me in Korea besides my job, So yeah, what about you guys? Is there anything in your week that you want to talk about? Yeah, I'll put out a video on Wednesday and seminar on Friday, and then next week maybe do a live stream with a special guest star. Okay, everyone. As always, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. It means a lot to me. Saima, Elsa, Migam, Renee, Dad, Mom, Alex, thanks for joining. Naza, genius Naza. And then I think Nasli was here too. Suta, thank you for your question. Martin was here. Ibrahim, and I think, yeah, whoever else was here. Tetiana, I wouldn't forget you. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, guys, have a great week, and pretty much the same for next week. Elsa, are you doing the? No, Renee, you're doing good luck with that demo that you're doing, guys. Elsa, good luck with your classes too. Martin, you made it back right in time. I was just thanking everyone for coming here. I'm going to stop soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I'll ask you guys about joining me for the live stream next week, and we'll sign up. And I'll see you next week. Martin says, have a lovely evening all, and see people tomorrow with my live stream. Oh, yeah, let me put that in there. By the way, about not plugging something, guys, put yourself out there and be proud to share yourself, if it's at school or, here. So, Martin has a stream tomorrow night. I think it's, what time is it, Martin? I think it's an hour after mine usually starts. So it starts right about now, right? Tomorrow. I saw Medin. I almost missed you. Have a great week. Have a fantastic week. Thank you for your input too. Everyone, have a great week, and I'll see you next time.